Hello, nice to have you here again, Lionel. Thank you for joining the TCCA brief discussion here in December after plenary 94, and I would like to give the floor to you and hear some update and maybe a little bit of summary what has happened over the year and how the future looks like.
Thanks again. Thanks for the invitation. It's always a pleasure. So as you said, it was the CT plenary 94. It was the last of 2021, which was again, unfortunately, a year with all the meeting moved to electronic format. So no face-to-face meeting. And it was quite painful, but again, it was quite amazing to see the work done in CT, especially if you want to think about what have been done regarding mission critical services support and protocol enhancements for these services. And so again, it's not ideal, but I'm really pleased to have such a delegate in our CT working group because the work is done. There is a real good coordination, especially regarding these topics. And more important maybe is that the fact that we have a lot of done inside the working group, but also outside with kind of coordination, cooperation between the vendors and the operators, which help at least the fact that there is no so much technical discussion at the plenary level, because I would say that everything is solved at the working group level. So it was great. So I really hope that for the next year, we will be able to resume face-to-face meeting. We are hoping that so we are planning to have a face-to-face meeting for the TSG in June. So hope that we will be able to do that, and let's see what's happening in 2022. But I will give you some good information about what's happened regarding mission critical services in CT. So as you know, it was introduced in release 13, and so back to 2016, I would say, and it was introduced with MCPTT. But since this date, it is organized more as a project than release per release. So whenever possible or needed, we are correcting the initial specification just to ensure that we have a stable specification and something that could be deployed and fulfilling all the requirements regarding mission critical services. So there is a lot of work done on this area, and for instance, we have a correction on the release 13 and release 14 specification that can be done. And it's a good point. It's to align that this work is carefully checked and reviewed by especially CT1 delegates, just ensuring that we have the most up-to-date service specification in our set of documents in 3GPP. So just to say that we are correcting earlier releases only when it is deemed required, and in that case it was required. So we are in a pretty good shape on this one. So far, as you know, we are focused in CT in the completion of the release 17. So for the overall work plan, we are in a pretty much on track, saying that we are supposed to complete our specification for March 22. And we have some work items being scheduled, but I would say that it is, first of all, mainly depending on the work done in other groups, like in SS6 for mission critical services. But regarding the work done in CT, we are pretty confident in the fact that we will be able to meet the target of March 22, even if it is still possible to have some exceptions. Let's say, so we are supposed to complete in March, but we may allow another plenary cycle in order to complete the work for specific work items. More specifically, I think that the big topic for CT was the protocol specification for the use of mission critical services over 5G. So as you know, in SC6, so it's the group defining the functional architecture and functional procedures in 3GPP. They have completed their work on this on the support of MCS over 5G. And now in CT, we are focusing on completing the protocol enhancements required to be able to support mission critical services over the 5G core network. So as you know, the primary, so the focus was on the on-network unicast communication because multicast was also initially part of the plan, but we have to wait for the completion of the multicast services over 5G. That is another action in 3GPP. So first of all, we are dedicated on network unicast communication. And on this, the rate of completion in CT is about 30%, but it's noble because we were waiting for the output of the work in SS6. And we have now 2 meetings to be able to complete this work. And as I said, it is one of the main topics in CT1. So I'm pretty confident that in March, we will have something stable enough. And if we need more time to complete the work, I think that another plenary cycle, which means 3 additional months, would be enough to complete the work. So there is no, at this stage, there is no worry about the completion of this work. Another aspects were regarding the different enhancements that we are also producing in CT. So we can talk about the enhancement for the mission critical data services, where, for instance, it was aimed to support data streaming or emergency communication for mission critical data services. So for this one, it's pretty good in track. We are in about 70%, I would say. And we have 2 additional meetings to be able to meet the target of the March plenary. So again, for this one, there is no worry, and we are on track. We are on track on this for these aspects. We have a topic also that was the mission critical, so the migration and interconnection between MCPTT and non-mobile radio systems. So this one was initiated as a previous release, and it was postponed to this release. We had few progress since the last plenary, and we are about 30% now. And again, it is expected to have a lot of contributions to be able to further progress on this topic, and we will see what will be the status of this work in March. We may expect also an exception for this one, saying that we will allow an additional 3 months to be able to complete this work. Obviously, we have also, there is also an important part of our work that is related to the maintenance of the existing specification and the enhancements of our existing specification. And for this one, for instance, we have the MCPTT phase 3 that have been completed already in CT. And we have also some general enhancement for any mission critical services. And for both of them, it is in a good shape, and we are confident in the fact that we will have a successful delivery of our specification for release 17. Now, for the last plenary, the main topic was the definition of the release 18 content, saying that in SA and RAN they have decided about the functional scope of the release 18. So for SA and RAN, for CT, we're not at this. We're not yet considering what would be part of release 18 because our aim, our principal focus so far is to complete the release 17. That is really important for the industry. So it is something that we will start to investigate in June. But based on the content of the release 18 that have been decided by RAN and SA, something that could be interested is interesting, would be to identify some early work that could be done in CT in order to help the completion of the functional work in other group, like in SN run. So let's say that if we have a new architecture or new interfaces and so on, it would be useful to identify for the work item, and in that sense, for instance, work item related to mission critical services, to see if it could be useful to initiate some early works. So let's say studies in CT as soon as possible in order to avoid some situations that we may had in the past regarding the work needed to select a new protocol or an enhancement of an existing protocol that would require some studies. So let's say that the real work for release 18 will start in June in CT. June 22, and if we can have some initial input from SN1 on these aspects, and this include, of course, MC related services, it would be good to have such kind of input ready for June, just to be able to start as soon as possible during the summer. But we have some time, because for the completion of the work for CT in release 18, it is planned to be done for March 23. So we have a lot of time to do that, but the earlier we will be able to start this kind of work, the better it would be for all the delegates, especially because we have a lot of pressure on the CT delegates. And I think it's again the opportunity for me to welcome any new delegate, especially in CT1, with the main working group working on the mission critical services. So to welcome any new delegates that will be please and welcome to work in CT1, just to help them to complete the specifications. They are doing, as I said, a great work. There is a very good coordination, and from a human point of view, it's a very friendly group. So if you want to be part of this interesting work in CT, you are more than welcome to participate to CT1. I would just conclude this to wish you a very happy holiday season for all of you, and obviously I hope that you will be in good shape for 2022, and from a 3GPP point of view, I just hope that we will be able to resume as soon as possible face-to-face meeting. Thank you for this.
Thank you very much, Lionel. A couple practical questions now. As I understand, the face-to-face meetings resume, well, the target is to resume next June. So if anyone is interested to learn how the CT1 works, I suppose now would be the perfect time. No travel required. You can enroll to do the meetings, follow the meetings, as well as then subscribe to the email list and get all the documentation. So I think this could be for organizations a great Christmas present to the younger engineers in the path to learn standardization to utilize the next half a year.
Yes, it's a very good opportunity, just to, because I can understand when you are a new delegate, a new blood in a working group, in a 3GPP working group, it could be really impressive to be part of this to be part or to be involved in this technical discussion and so on, often referring to very old specification and so on, and you don't know exactly how it works and where to find the documentation and so on. So I agree that using the opportunity to be part of this working group meeting due to the fact that we are using electronic tools, it's very convenient if you want to start and to initiate your participation to a 3GPP working group, especially in CT1.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone take this opportunity and utilize it to the most extent. Other thing you mentioned was that well, basically again by summer release 17 is finalized. We know exactly what is there, and so we know what kind of from standard point of view what kind of implementations are possible. Then obviously in plug tests and so on, we will see the verifications and so on. So that's great thing. Another thing is then we see more precisely how the work for release 18 has started. We have in June is the plenary 96. It's early June, and soon after that is the Critical Communication World event, which would be then the perfect place to have discussion how and what to roll these services actually out and how to make them real on the field. So that's certainly something for everyone to consider.
Yes, and thank you for that, because I know that there is a lot of fancy discussion about the content in SA and RAN, but actually at the end, what really matters is what is available to be deployed in the network, and it means that you need to have the stage 3 completed. And regarding the stage 3, it's mainly CT for the core network and RAN for the radio aspect. So basically, you will be sure to know exactly what will be the content of the release 17. In March or June, and based on that, you will know what you will be able to deploy in your networks. And as you said, it will be also the perfect time to see exactly what have been done so far and what could be done based on the achievement of the release 17. So it will be the perfect opportunity to talk about that.
And I also think that that would be also fairly good timing to think on the inputs for release 19, considering the stage 1 work. So the window hasn't closed quite yet at summer when one understands, like, okay, where are the caveats potentially, what should be implemented when we look at the real operations on the field in the second half of this decade.
Yeah, correct.
All right, excellent. Hey, thank you very much, Lionel. Thank you for joining. Thank you for all the work and cooperation over the year. And now I wish you and your family Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we will certainly resume back with these topics in March timeframe to see how we are progressing. So thank you very much, and see you again.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you. Bye-bye.